Now you have, you know, a handful of record labels. You have a handful of publicists and promoters who are bringing hip-hop acts to Boston from out of town and helping local guys get shows. And now you also have radio stations which are dedicated to it. So I think now we have sort of an industry, and that's the way that you build a scene.
I really need for someone to blow up from Boston. We need that validation. It's the inferiority complex again. It'll always be good here. And you know, you can always come to a good show and you can always see a lot of good talent. But I predict that that will remain and that someone who I don't know will blow up. That's my prediction.
And I'm still waiting for somebody to get, you know, to that level from here, from Boston, to take the Boston rap scene to another level.
Other than Ed O.G., Mercury 10, 11 years ago, one record breaks and that's it, and nobody else.
I think some artists are experiencing more success than others right now, and I see that changing a little bit in terms of everyone kind of acting like a big family. But by and large, it's a tight-knit group of guys who I think really like each other.
Where's it going to go from here? I don't think anything drastic is going to happen. If somebody moves away, I think there's a lot of young kids coming up, you know, who are going to take their place. If all the people stay, then you know, it's unbeatable. I have nothing but high hopes and high expectations. So all you MCs out there, I'm watching.
All my peeps in the Middle East, listen to this. If you ready for rip, you gotta listen to this. You gotta what?
That shit that you missed when you said that shit. Chicks can't do this.
Pure focus. When I spin it like focus, when I wrote this, when I write, my mind expands like the belly of Oprah.
Time will tell. I think the true champions of the scene will shine, you know, as far as the art is concerned. I'm happy that it exists. You know, people sometimes want to say, yeah, the scene is bullshit, but they can go to several other cities across the country and they won't get shit as far as hip-hop goes. No outlets, no nothing. Out here you get a lot of, it's fertile, and that's really great, you know? And I hope that the people here have enough awareness to recognize that they have this going on, and like I hope they can, you know, think about ways to maintain it and expand on it.
It's like we're the generation that, like in '96, was like putting out their first singles, and now we've all like gotten wiser in the game, and like we have a stronger like business team around us, and we're putting out our records with more force. You know what I mean? And like we're a little bit more refined, so we're putting out some of our best work. I hope, you know what I mean, or from what I've seen, and it's just like, and it just feels powerful, man.
After our run from like 91 to like 95, I was kind of burnt out. I needed to like just stay away from music, and I just kind of like took a year and just chilled, really, and kind of got back into myself, and then we recorded the independent EP, and we sold like 13,000 vinyl on our own, and you know, me and my boys all made a nice piece of money. So then we seen there was an alternative route which we could use, and we could do our own thing and really not have to put up with all the bullshit.
Because I watch him do shows, listen to his records, and it's just like, you know, he hasn't lost a step. If anything, as a matter of fact, he's gotten much better. You know, it's just a different music industry now than it was back then. You could say be a father to your child, you could talk about real issues, you could do a song like Love Comes and Goes, and the world would have their ears open to it.
Don't be fooled by these Boston accents. We talk with words and we talk with actions. Not New York, dirty South, West Coast or Midwest, cause Mass is where the kid rests. No doubt, no doubt.
He did the major label thing, he got screwed, he took a while off, and then he found himself on an independent and has done pretty well with that and stayed artistically, you know, vibrant.
So Ed's not through, you know? I mean, I think he's got, you know, he's gonna end up putting out 2 or 3 more albums. He's working on a group thing. He's also starting to manage artists and also starting to develop his own label. So I think he's entering a new phase in his career.
Hip-hop habitual, surrounded by criminals at different times and different intervals. The fake one, I hate one.
He's a very, very smart political guy. There's never a song that he doesn't make a little piece of commentary about something.
I want to get into politics, man, in the future, because who better to represent the people than a person of the people? And, you know, being in the grind and in the city and knowing, you know, what your working class person wants and needs and their needs, and your everyday person out there on the everyday struggle, you know, knowing what they're gonna need and what's gonna help them better their life and bring the city, you know, more unity, because we're kind of getting into where Boston is not that segregated, where just blacks live here, whites live here. You know what I mean? It's kind of getting mixed. And Boston, you know, in the next 10 years is gonna be probably one of the top 5 major cities in the US, you know what I mean? And it's better to run it than me.
I feel like I've reached a point where I kind of have to, you know, really start thinking about my future. And, you know, because I think if I were to get some major label recording contract, I'd have to sacrifice a lot of, you know, the creativity and things like that we do, that we're, you know, kind of known for.
So when I'm done with all this craziness and have my fun and did my movies and maybe wrestled in the WWF and done a couple other things, I'm gonna try to take it back to a high school, man, somewhere in the city, and just like take some kids under my wing and teach them the things that they need to learn from somebody that they might actually feel like they can respect.
I can't do anything else. It's the reason I make music, is to earnestly express my thoughts, you know what I mean? But again, you know, I'm not trying to put necessarily boundaries on my music, because I'm still a young man and I know I'm gonna grow, you know, like there's no telling what I wanna do musically in 5 years.
I hope the city gets better, and you know, I hope my career is just like flourishes to something that makes it feel like meaningful to drop records. I'm always gonna do music, but who knows? I just have to just like live it out and see what goes on.
I've got universal thoughts in my dome, but I gotta let you know how it is back home in Boston, the place that I dwell, where esoteric and 7L dropped head swell with virtuoso on the track. So go grab it. Gotta say peace to my man Acrobatic. You heard us on Inhuman, and we're steadily improving. Brothers to the conclusion. Probe lyrical, my man Trevsky. Rise with the critical eyes. Papa D, who believed in me from the very first track. When I was liftedly man, and he started Backpack Productions with the archaeologist Steve. We made madness in '95, you see, the beginning of a dynasty. And can't forget the legendary Ninja B. He used to build with me before I even made a song. He said the road is paved but long, and many things can go wrong. What's up, One Sense, with the cuts intense, showing up with the blizz and reminding me to live to the fullest. Plus recognize where the bullet